Hey everyone, I did a report on the Delaney Hall Detention Center, so let's get into it. All of my sources and my personal report will be linked in my description below on YouTube, so if you're on TikTok, go ahead and head over to YouTube, but not before boosting the video on TikTok, please. Please help me make my dreams come true. I will be reading straight off of the report, because yeah, there's just too many details in the report that I don't want to miss. Here we go. ICE gang violates U.S. Senator conducting oversight. Congressional oversight is the implied power of Congress over the executive branch to ensure a just execution of powers from the sitting presidential administration and all federal agencies. Members of Congress, with the help of designated branches such as, but not limited to, the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, have the jurisdiction to perform various checks and balances over all branches of government as well as any projects the administration enacts, including but not limited to the oversight of immigration enforcement. Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey has been under review for human rights violations for months. Lawyers of hostages stuck in these detention centers report moldy and spoiled food, some crawling with maggots. People report being fed at unusual hours, which is bad for people, especially with diabetes and issues with blood pressure, I'm pretty sure. And there is outstanding evidence of medical neglect. Captives are being forced to sleep on the floor with nothing but the clothes on their back, and Senator Andy Kim oversaw 12 to 16 people per room. And it is reported that only around 6% of the people in Delaney Hall are guilty of criminal offenses. Yet some have been held for over a year with no communication on when they will be released. More so, the Newark mayor, Roz Baraka, says the city has been engaging in legal action against the privately owned concentration camp consistently throughout the year due to the reported human rights violations. And following a call from Newark's mayor, Attorney General Jennifer Davenport has also been conducting investigations and pushing for accountability from ICE, DHS, and the private company GEO Group, which owns the facility. While Senator Kim was conducting oversight at the Delaney Hall detention facility in Newark, New Jersey, he tried to talk with ICE agents about the inhumane conditions, and in response, agents pulled up in armored vehicles, tackled protesters, and one was reportedly dragged across the ground and shot pepper balls into the crowd of people protesting the inhumane conditions at the facility, to which Senator Kim was caught in the crossfire. Other representatives and officials have tried to oversee the conditions for themselves, but were denied access due to a suspicious, quote, abundance of caution, according to the DHS. In May of last year, Representative LaMonica McIver was arrested for demanding entry into Delaney Hall and charged for interfering with federal officers, despite congressional oversight being justified and needing to take precedent. In January, ICE captured Soto Hernandez while he was allegedly buying diapers for his baby. Soto Hernandez has 2 children and a wife who's pregnant with their third. Since his time in the camp, Hernandez has organized a hunger strike with upwards of 300 people in the center to protest the inhumane conditions. And you know what? I heard the hunger strike did grow. I am going to be doing more research on that to see how many people from concentration camps all over the United States are now participating. And his wife led a protest on the outside announcing the hunger strike. Protesters also organized to resist Hernandez being relocated to another concentration camp, but were met with more brutality from ICE agents, including being shot at with rubber bullets and pepper balls, tackled and dragged by agents, and intimidated by unmarked armored vehicles. Rita Linhares, a 46-year-old woman from Brazil, was captured by ICE while she was following the law by checking in with immigration enforcement. Rita has a daughter, Claire Linhares, and a husband. She also suffers from medical conditions such as glaucoma, high blood pressure, anemia, and circulation issues. Both Rita's family and lawyers report that she has been denied access to her medications. Rita and her family were forced to move back to Brazil in 2010 due to deportation warnings, but were forced to return after medical care became too expensive in Brazil, and their issued removal has now been reinstated. Their family applied for T visas after Rita's husband was held against his will by a personal guide they mistakenly trusted, who was supposed to help them navigate back to the US. Since then, they have lived in the United States at the same residency for 12 years, and Rita has now missed a court date for the family's T visas because she's being held against her will in the Delaney concentration camp. And her attorney says that this will disrupt the process if the follow-up date is not rescheduled. And Claire's father is scheduled to check in with immigration enforcement on the day of her graduation, and she fears that he will be taken too. And it's not just on any day either, it's one of the most pivotal days of her life. Clara states, "If I were to lose them both, I would be completely alone." The family is doing everything they can to abide by the law, but are being met with unnecessary challenges at every turn, from Rita being held against her will to the family being denied the ability to challenge their renewed ordered removal. This is just absolutely insidious. ICE agents do not give a fuck about you, they don't give a fuck about me, they don't give a fuck about immigrants. All they care about is upholding the Trump administration's agenda of tearing this country apart. And DHS is spinning reports of human rights violations and the push for accountability as a smear campaign and politically motivated. The federal government is denying any allegations of abuses in ICE detention centers, not only in Delaney Detention Center, but all over the United States. And they consistently deny evidence and human testimony from the lived experiences in the camps. And instead of taking initiative to change the error of the current immigration enforcement tactics, which have resulted in the deaths of many and the abuse of thousands, the leader of the Department of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen, has doubled down on the tyrannical behavior and is apportioning blame to Democrats, stating, quote, "I'm sorry, you probably shouldn't have been there," and has denied the hunger strike. And it's very important to note that Congress especially has the jurisdiction to perform congressional oversight if said agency in question does not properly update data and statistics from their organization. DHS has neglected to consistently update various data across many branches, including ICE. Furthermore, due to discrepancies, inconsistencies, and blatant lies from whistleblowers, their claims at this time cannot be trusted without the proper congressional oversight. Thank you for educating yourself. You can go ahead and check out the link in my description to educate yourself further. Stay in the loop, stay educated, keep yourself informed, and yeah, peace and love. Be the change.